Welcome to Business Line's State of the Economy podcast, where you'll find insight, analysis, and the story behind the numbers.
Hi, my name is Rajasimhan. Welcome to the State of the Economy podcast. Vande Bharat, India's first indigenous express train, has created a sensation across the country. The train, which is an example of the Make in India success story, can run up to a maximum speed of 160 km per hour and has travel classes like the Shatabdi train. The first Vande Bharat train was flagged off on February 15, 2019 between Delhi and Varanasi, and there was no looking back with 14 services so far. The latest being the inauguration of the train service between Thiruvananthapuram and Kasargod in Kerala by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The blue and white colored train has attracted so much attention with a good response to the service and a lot of enthusiasm among people looking at the train that has a slight resemblance to the bullet train. Colorful trains like the Golden Chariot and Palace on Wheels have not created so much buzz among the public, but Vande Bharat has managed to. Can the buzz around Vande Bharat be used for monetizing through merchandising? Yes, it is possible, says well-known brand expert R. Satyanarayanan, a Sundaram Fasteners Associate Professor of Marketing at IFMR Graduate School of Business and Kriya University. Let's listen to Satyanarayanan on how the railways can make extra money from Vande Bharat.
Isn't Vande Bharat train a good success story of Atmanirbhar Bharat?
Raja, Vande Bharat, is actually a success story of Atmanirbhar Bharat because the train was conceived in India and it's totally made in ICF factory in Chennai. So almost, they took 18 months to complete the entire project, whereas the world average is 36 months. So it was actually driven by the Indian, PSU, which is Indian Railways. And right from the design to prototype, in spite of, a lot of other consultants are involved, the whole design and the making of this train is the part of Atmanirbhar's success. And the most importantly, according to Sudhanshu Mani, who spearheaded this project, the former general manager of ICF Chennai, they made the train at 1/3 cost of what it used to cost for an imported train set, number one. Number two, the intellectual property rights of this train lies within India, that is with the railways, because there is no involvement of any technology transfer of any sort of MOUs like that. So on many counts, this is definitely a success of Atmanirbhar Bharat.
Okay. Can this be replicated in other transport also, isn't it?
We can actually do because, other, like if you take the case of HAL, they are into manufacturing of light combat aircraft. We even, can explore getting into small-scale passenger aircrafts. And also, this would actually give a lot of inspiration and boost, either in shipping or in aircraft, for that matter, any other transportation areas.
But why there is so much craze for Vande Bharat train sets? Especially the public seems to be so gung-ho about it, Satya.
Yeah, because in India, we are so used to, the old train set. Of course, train travel is exciting for many people. And unlike air travel or cruise lines, the train travel is relatable for general public, common people, who use train as a major means of transportation. So when it comes to that part, Vande Bharat is kind of a dream come true for many because those who have seen how a train set looks in developed countries, be it a bullet trains or the TGV of France, there is quite a bit of aesthetics that is involved, which those who have visited even countries abroad, who have experienced that kind of train sets, and those who have seen many of those trains in television or in movie halls. So there is always a dream when India can actually have these kind of train sets for the common public. So when you have a Vande Bharat Express, which is actually catering to that dream, people will get excited because one, it is indigenously made train. So they are very proud of it as an Indian achievement. There are many things in the past, like the missile development, of Agni 1 and 2, or take the case of the success in Konkan Railway project or the Delhi Metro, and even the vaccine development and the administration of vaccination around the country. There are many things, we have achieved, our own brethren, in many of these departments have achieved. So we feel one with that. Like take the case of ISRO, one of the classic success, be it Mangalyaan or Chandrayaan. So these are all signals that actually India is getting into the next orbital of development. So when an achievement of that sort happens, and which is very relatable to common public, it definitely creates a lot of excitement, and people clamor to take selfies, and people talk a lot about Vande Bharat and write about that.
But is Vande Bharat definitely is different from others, so that maybe that is why, even if you look at the design per se, it's a lot of things. People say that it reflects something like a bullet train, so maybe that is also an excitement.
Exactly. That's where the aesthetic part comes. People are excited with that sleekness and the stylish make of the train. So look at, in India, whenever we think of a train, right from the British era, the image of a train that comes to us is a chugging steam engine or a typical that blue-colored coaches. So this is totally different from that. This looks like train in a developed country. So that is definitely, giving a lot of pride to the people that, yes, India can actually develop and deploy train sets like this, and people can travel in that.
But do you think there is a merchandising opportunity in this whole phenomenon? How is it done in movies, something like that?
Yeah. See, merchandising is a big opportunity, around the world. In 2022, this merchandising and licensing industry was worth around $260 billion. And it is expected to reach 330 billion in another 3 or 4 years. And in movie industry, it is quite common. Of course, in many industries or even in normal corporate gifting, merchandise is used as a strategy. But merchandising licensing is predominantly used in movie industry. For example, if you take the case of Disney's Frozen, Frozen 1 made around $1.45 billion in terms of box office revenues. Wow. And Frozen 2, the sequel, it made around $1.3 billion. But merchandising and licensing was $5 billion. It is bigger than the total collection in the box office. So that big is the opportunity. And by merchandising, what do we mean is utilizing the core and elements of these movies in terms of toys, in terms of, say, everyday items like a t-shirt or a cap, a bottle. So there are varieties of items in which the movie's theme or the movie's characters are capitalized. Now, this is big in Hollywood. Of course, in India, a lot of studios tried this. I think Doom, Ravan series, they tried a bit. Bahubali actually tried it in a big way. So they even had a cartoonized web series. In terms of cartoons, Chota Bheem is a character, where children were excited by that character, and there were a lot of merchandise that came out of Chota Bheem, like a writing notepad or a mirror. So there are many items where the theme or the image of many of these successful characters or the movie per se. So that actually results in a big revenue stream. So worldwide, it's a big business. In India, a lot of companies and studios are trying. And so that movie merchandise is actually giving scope for a success like Vande Bharat to capitalize on this phenomenon. I'll tell you how. Because of this excitement, there is a lot of excitement to take selfie, and people are so proud of Vande Bharat. A toy train would definitely be a big hit. So that's my hypothesis. Because I've traveled in this train, I've seen children taking a lot of selfie, feeling excited, jumping inside the train. Imagine a miniature toy train is sold on board or in the railway stations. That will definitely create a lot of excitement for the kids, and people would definitely buy, is my hypothesis. So there is an opportunity, nevertheless. The ideal thing for Indian Railways is to do a market study on this.
But how can they railways actually ideate and merchandising and licensing?
Railways can start with Vande Bharat because there is a current contemporary excitement around the train set. But Vande Bharat is not the be-all and end-all of a merchandising and licensing strategy. This is where the railways need to ideate on in what are all the different ways we can actually come up with merchandising ideas. Vande Bharat is one, definitely, which will be a current hit. But you have other luxury trains. For example, you have a Palace on Wheels, or you have the Golden Chariot, which is patronized by a lot of foreign tourists. So there is a luxury toy opportunity in that. So there are many things which you can actually follow a merchandising strategy, and either in terms of a miniature toy sets. So these are all related to railways. And there are a lot of heritage trains like the Himalayan Queen or the Nilgiri Mountain Railway, which again, is as a part of leisure excitement, could provide opportunity for railways to come up with the miniature toy trains, number one. And then you have heritage, even railway stations like the Madras Central or the, Mumbai Chhatrapati Shivaji terminal. So these are all heritage structures, which stands as identity for the city itself. The moment you think of Chennai, Chennai Central is definitely one image which immediately comes to our mind. So there are varieties of ways which railways should ideate. Okay, what are all the items I can actually related to railways? We can come up with a merchandising strategy. And there are other regular merchandise items like the T-shirt or the sneaker or the jackets. So there are many things which many companies around the world, like even the IPL teams like Chennai Super Kings or Kolkata Knight Riders, they follow a lot of these merchandise items strategies through T-shirts and collectibles. So that is second level. It is a classic case of how you have an asset and how you are going to monetize that asset. I'll tell you an analogy. If you take Saregama, the music company, Saregama had a license and rights for close to 1 lakh songs right from the 1940s to 1980s. Many songs, Carnatic songs, film songs that played on All India Radio, the rights rest with the Saregama. But today, even in YouTube, you get to listen to many of these songs. But what Saregama smartly did, they created a radio-looking music player called Caravan, which was loaded with some 5,000 songs based on different genres. And that became a big hit as a gift items in the market. Caravan is one of the recent success where a company which had an idle asset, a rights for 1 lakh songs, and they were not using it for many years. Suddenly they came up with a product idea. They created a product around that, and that became a kind of hot selling cake in the market. So there is many such idle assets within Indian Railways, which they need to do an ideation process on how to capitalize and monetize on those assets using a merchandising strategy.
But is this merchandising scenario in transport industry available abroad?
It is quite common. Even in railways, if you take Eurostar or Amtrak, they have dedicated websites where they sell a lot of merchandise items, right from toy trains, miniatures, sets, to the regular merchandise items like a T-shirt or a water bottle. And even if you take airline companies and aircraft manufacturers, they also have dedicated websites where you can buy some of the miniature models in the online websites. Take case of shipping, you have a lot of cruise lines, who also sell many of these merchandise on board the cruise lines, and also they have websites. So in transportation sector, be it airlines or railways or shipping, this is quite common in abroad. So it is budding. A developing country like India, and we have an excellent opening for that with a vehicle like Vande Bharat. So from where railways can start and make it big and develop it as a big industry.
What should be the pricing and retail strategy, Satya?
Pricing, again, should be based on a market study, but considering different types of train. For example, I'll just take the two cases of Vande Bharat on one hand and a luxury train like Golden Chariot. At Golden Chariot or a Palace on Wheels, people pay close to 10 lakhs or 15 lakhs for a travel. So which is, luxury in terms of the product category. There the pricing can be actually higher. You can even sell a very attractive Indian Railways related product, even at starting from say 5,000 rupees or 10,000 rupees because the market there is little affluent. In case of Vande Bharat, compared to regular trains, Vande Bharat again, is at a premium. But nevertheless, right from a toy which would range from say 200 rupees or even to 2,000 rupees. So that would be the price band. That's what I assume based on my experience in the market. But definitely a market study on that would tell us the right price points at which many of these merchandise items could be sold, number one. Now coming to the retail part. The retail part is where railway is definitely having an edge. Because unlike other retail outlets, you don't investment in terms of real estate. Because you have a huge real estate network of your own railway stations, number one. So you have a railway station where right now, Indian Railways is doing a great retail strategy called, I think, one station, one product. So in many of these railway stations, they have a kiosk where they sell a popular product or a handloom or handicrafts from that particular town. So this is an excellent retail strategy which is initiated recently by Indian Railways. Similarly, they can have a retail point in the railway station premises itself, which can actually sell these merchandise items. Second, you have a moving real estate, which is your train. Even in Vande Bharat, when you pay regular food, after that food is supplied, the employees who are, the retail executives come and sell many items like soft drinks or a beverage or something. So that again is another retail touch point where you can sell in the train itself. And train is again another exciting place to actually sell many of these merchandise items because you have an aperture. In advertising, you use this aperture point, the most right moment when the customer will be in a position to receive your communication. So in train, when people are traveling, when kids are also around, there when you have many of these, a lot of parents and kids would definitely like to see the toys or the collectibles and buy. So in terms of retail investment, you're not going to spend much on that. So you have a ready-made network of railway stations and also your trains. That should be the retail strategy for these merchandise items by Indian Railways.
How does the new revenue stream will actually help the railways?
Yeah, my gut feel is that this opportunity will provide a long-term revenue stream for the railways. Because in the long run, as this merchandise industry actually evolve and develop, this revenue stream can become big. But whether it is small or big, this is going to provide railways an additional revenue stream, which would actually help you to cross-subsidize many of your other social obligation also. Because there are many sectors where railways need to operate passenger trains at a lower fare. There are certain sectors where I need to keep the passenger fee low, considering the affordability of majority of Indians. So in that scenario, if my merchandise strategy is going to become success and it is going to bring in even more revenue without me spending much in terms of capital, this is definitely going to help in terms of cross-subsidization. So the revenue I'm going to get out of this new stream can either, feed into as a cross-subsidy for keeping the fare low in certain sectors for our social obligations. Two, if the revenue stream is big enough, this can definitely even help in our other capital expenditure in the future.
Finally, Indian Railways has a good museum network across India. How will it help in this, Satya?
A museum network of Indian Railways is known to people and not known to many people in India. Even in Chennai, you have a big railway museum where we can go and see a lot of legacy trains and heritage trains, and there are a lot of info about railways. Indian Railways, they have not marketed it well, to attract more crowd. Now, how museum network would help in the merchandising strategy is that can be another retail point, and that can also give us a lot of ideas in terms of how to monetize on the heritage value. So the ideation exercise, museum will be one of the idea genesis point where we can gather more ideas to actually widen our bouquet of offering in terms of merchandise. And incidentally, our railway museums have close to 40 coffee table books on many aspects of railways, again, which is not known to general public in a big way. So when this museum network the already existing legacy and heritage aspects of railways and a merchandising strategy could harmoniously blend well to create a retail touch point and also an ideation touch point for Indian Railways.
Thank you, Satya.